Okay, we're ready to start. Good. It is 6:04. Good evening. I'm John Matola of the Board of Finance. This is the Board of Finance Audit Subcommittee. Today is Wednesday, May 27th, 2026. We have our Finance Director, Tom Harris, and Committee Member Dave Rock. Jim Walsh could not make it this evening. And so let's move on. This second item on the agenda is to hear, consider, and act upon election of committee officers. This is our first meeting of the year because for a variety of reasons, there really wasn't any reason to meet for the first few months of the year. So what I'm going to expedite this, I'm going to make a motion to appoint me the chair of this committee, Jim Walsh as the vice chair, and Dave Rock as the secretary. Can I get a second?
Second.
Seconded by Dave. No comment. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
That was easy. Item number 3 is discussion of the upcoming fiscal year 25-26 audit with CFO Tom Harris. And originally we wanted to see if we could have our auditor, Joe Sedefani here. He was unable to make tonight's meeting. And so basically I just wanted to ask Tom a couple of questions about the upcoming audit. The last year's audit was delayed for a variety of reasons that we discussed at our full board finance meetings. One of them was the fact that your finance staff, you were lacking with employees, your controller left. It took a while to replace that person, and then subsequently the replacement of the controller left. And so I guess, Tom, what I would ask you is that if we have issues this coming year hiring a controller, what, if anything, do you have in place to avoid having?
How do we move forward?
Yeah, having the audit, this coming audit delayed? Because normally it's done, like a rough draft is in December,
Right.
at the end of the year, and then we look at it as a subcommittee. That didn't happen this year. So I just would ask you that, because when Joe said the best time to meet with him is when we get a controller, and so just I'll ask you to answer that.
Yeah. I think we're going to be, first of all, I think we did, last year we didn't have a controller, we didn't have our senior staff accountant. And when the controller left, we really were behind in terms of getting to a year-end close. This year we do have I think a very well-qualified staff accountant. So as we get to the end of the year, I think we'll be close to being kind of current in terms of the closing. So that's definitely going to help. But I just, one comment, I think, it's not an excuse. We were late last year. If you look at other towns, probably half of the towns in the state were late. And some didn't file even until May. But in terms of our issue, I think, having a staff accountant who I think is doing very well is going to help. We're going to be current as we get to year end. And hopefully we get a controller on board. But also, I've gone through the process, and we have other people, Sabrina, who came in and helped, and she's experienced. So I think that, we would be able to get this done by the end of the year. Okay. So I think when Joe, we're going to have a meeting with Joe, and we're going to try and schedule out a work plan to get everything done by the end of December.
Okay.
So, do you have good candidates? Do you have
We have we have a pool of viable candidates, and I think hopefully we can make a decision soon.
Okay. So you're going to be meeting with Joe in the coming weeks to set a schedule to work through any of these issues?
He gives us a list of schedules. And again, last year, the thing that he wants is a good trial balance. And we didn't get a good trial balance until it was probably well into September. We're just behind. So the plan is to have that on, that's the first important piece for him. So to get that done timely and then have a schedule to move forward.
So what happens if we don't hire a controller?
So again, an important piece is that senior accountant. That's the person who really is the nuts and bolts.
Yeah.
And we have someone who's been on board now for a couple of months, and she's doing very well. And again, I've been through this. I can pick up pieces, and we have Sabrina in Capital Projects who helped out last year, and she would be available. It's not to say we won't have hiccups, but I think we'll be in a much better position than we were last year.
Okay. All right. Just write something down there.
I spoke to Joe last week, and he wants to meet with the controller. Otherwise, probably in a month or so, we're going to meet and talk about the schedule.
Okay, all right. Thank you for clarifying that, and we'll follow up on that at the next meeting. Is there anything else on that you want to talk about, Dave? Are you good?
My worry is your worry.
Yeah,
Same
we just,
thing. I mean,
same
it's
thing, yeah.
making sure we get it right.
Yeah, yeah. And I think we will this year because of what you just said, Tom. Do we have, without getting into the real specifics, how are we doing with hiring a new internal auditor?
We sort of put that on the back burner until we get the controller because we have a salary constraint.
Right,
So we may have to give more for the controller and, because I think when we did the budget, we got,
yeah. I
the
remember
salary was
talking about
reduced.
that.
So,
Not that.
yeah, I want to be sure we get, to me, the controller is the most important.
The controller really should be making more than your.
Yeah,
internal.
so we want to, and the people we have been speaking to, would be in that range, so.
Okay, all right. Is the controller a union position?
Came out, no, we removed that.
All right.
As, we also took the internal audit out.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, so
Okay.
they both are out.
So you have some discretion there with respect to what to pay them without having to worry about union terms and conditions and all that.
Right.
Okay, that's good. Okay. I also have an item number 4 to hear, consider and act upon future meeting dates. What I suggest is these dates, if you guys are okay with it, they're, I think September 9th, which is a Wednesday, 6 o'clock. I try to avoid doing it like the same nights we have like a Board of Finance meeting. I think by then, we'll know, you'll be
Right.
able to tell us how we're doing. with-
Be out of starting gates.
Yes. Is that okay, Dave?
Looks good to me.
And then October 13th, which is a Wednesday. And then December 8th is a Tuesday.
Give me the October date again.
October 13th. And we can certainly change these if we have to.
December was.
8th.
Okay.
Joe can probably give us an update where he is. And then we've had, like a lot of times in early January, historically, he would give us a presentation on his draft audit just to our committee. So by December 8th, we should know kind of where he is. So I'll just make a motion to approve those dates.
Second, yeah.
All in favor? Me and you?
Yeah.
Easy. All right, and then item number 5 is to discuss audit subcommittee goals. My big goal this year is to make sure our audit is more timely, and secondly, to get an internal auditor to start audits again, internal audits again. You haven't been able to do any of those since Connie left, right?
Correct, yeah.
Okay. Is there, I know Jim Walsh mentioned at a meeting a couple of meetings back that when we get an internal auditor, he would like that individual to look at how Paycom has been, working and if it's achieving the goals that we anticipated and so on and so forth. I think that might be a pretty good idea. How is Paycom doing?
I think it's doing well. And honestly, I think there were a lot of hiccups when we started, and some of that is on us,
Yeah.
the town. It wasn't planned out well, frankly. But I think that now it's working. It's doing what a payroll system platform
Okay.
should do.
All right. All right. Anything else you thinking of, Dave, right now?
That's it. I think we're good.
I'm sure we'll think of other things too. Are there any, Tom, is there anything you want an internal auditor or any, maybe if we hired an outside auditor to take a look at in our town that you have a concern about?
You know, the thing we have a lot of work to do is just policies, procedures. How do you do it? When somebody walks out of the door, I think that was a goal to do this year. So I think to me, once we get staffed up, that is something, that's a priority, I think.
Okay.
It's also mentioned that the COO would be a person to help do that as well.
That too, right.
And that's a person we haven't hired, so.
Okay. All right, well, we'll keep that in mind. If we think we're having trouble, if you're having issues with that, I don't think it's a bad idea to maybe hire someone from the outside to help you with those policies. That's a lot of work.
Yeah, we did, when I came on board, we talked to somebody about doing that. It was a lot of money.
It is money,
It's a
yeah.
lot of money, to do what they wanted to do.
So what kind of numbers were they throwing around? Do you remember?
50,000.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I thought it was a little high for.
Yeah.
Does Joe Sedafani do things like that? He would do it?
He probably has a group that would do it.
Okay.
To be the auditor and to write policies and procedures, you probably would have to have someone else
Do that.
do that. But I mean, it's something it's something that Caitlin didn't want to do that. And that's something I think a controller should be able to do.
Okay.
So we get the right controller that should be working with me, a part of the.
Well, you just,
To do that.
what I would tell you is keep in the back of your mind, if you think it's not getting done and you need it to get done, and I can quite honestly understand why it may not be getting done because you're short-staffed, and even if you bring on a new controller, that person's not going to be able to do
Yeah, it's gonna take a while.
It's going to take he or she a while to figure out something. So if you think it would be a good idea to have someone from the outside take a look at it, let us know. We can talk about it, our committee, and then the full board.
Yeah, I think it's important to get the staff,
Yeah,
know. to get the staff in there,
Okay,
so.
all right.
And I know last year there was money in the Board of Finance budget.
We had some money.
Yeah, we had some money to
stashed
do it. I just thought, until you have the staff, I don't think that's the right time to do
away.
it.
Okay, all right. Anything else, Dave?
I think we're good.
All right, I'm glad we met. We needed to do this.
Yeah.
So, right now, our next meeting, September 9th. Unless something happens, let me know, Tom, and so I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
See you gents Tuesday.
We're done.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well,